Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. So, look, I've been doing videos on Spence and Crawford. Gave my 2 cents on who I think should get the lion's share. Talked about her purse. Seemed to have been like it was going to be a big issue going into this fight. And obviously, at a certain point, the purse split was a significant sticking point. But as of right now, it seems that that's not the issue. Terrence Crawford actually was on the Sean Porter's podcast, and they actually got him to talk. So now we have where Errol Spence is talking, Steven Espinoza is talking, Terrence Crawford is talking. So what we're hearing is what we want to hear. We're getting the kind of feedback and a little bit of sound bites out there that is very convincing to making me believe that the fight's going to happen this year. And the way Crawford's now, when Errol speaks, he's almost passive, but there's certain questions he won't entertain. Like he'll just blow you off like he didn't hear you. And he doesn't really show much as far as his facial expressions. He always looks like he's probably one yawn from falling asleep. But with Terrence Crawford, you gotta listen, man, to what he was saying. He was like, 2022, right? 2022, yeah. When they're talking about the fight happening. And that told me that it was almost suggesting that it's foolish to think that he's not going to let that fight pass. To think that he's going to let that fight get pushed down the line to 2023 or 2024. Now, one thing I don't know is I still don't know who the hell Crawford, I don't know who's promoting Crawford. But I'm sure all that will come out in due time. I said yesterday, I think in 30 days we're going to get an announcement on this fight. But anyway, they've gotten beyond the purse split. I thought Crawford would have wanted huge money. I don't know what the split is, but it seems like money's not an issue. It's the location. At first, with everything Spence was doing, they're building him up to a huge pay-per-view star. But I'm not going to say huge, but a pay-per-view star. He's more of a pay-per-view star than Crawford. But now people are peeling their layers back. Like, okay, that was in Dallas. Sure, he can go to his hometown and he can sell out. He can get 40,000 people in there. He's got athletes behind him. He's got billionaires behind him. He's got the momentum. Okay, he's got the machine behind him. But can Spence do that somewhere else? I don't know, man. Why should he? So Crawford's thing is, I get it that there's money there in Dallas, DeSoto, Texas, up in that area of that neck of the woods up there in Arlington. I get it. We can go there and probably do, I don't know, 60, 80, 100,000, however they can construct that package to make sure everyone who wants to see that fight can get in there, right? But Crawford's like, but that's not, why would I go there, okay, and do it in an area that's probably going to favor Spence? Why don't we I'm not asking to bring it up to Nebraska, where I'm from. And trust me, I honestly believe if they were to have this fight in Nebraska, Spence and Crawford, I think that they would figure things out and be able to find a place or to create a space that could host 40 to 80,000 people. I think they'll be able to figure it out. The logistics would have to be sorted out. It may push the fight day back to the end of the year. But if they can do it in Saudi Arabia and then tear it down the next day, they can do that here. I think the money is there for this fight to create the proper venue. But that being said, why go force something down there in Dallas where the playing field is not level for Crawford? And why go up there to Nebraska where they don't even have the infrastructure, I don't think, to host 100,000 people, and where they would have to force the situation, now the playing field's not level for Spence. So have it there in Vegas. Now, that's what Crawford was saying. Let's just have it in a neutral space. And you know what? I agree with that. I think that I've always thought that was the right place to have it. Wasn't sure what they were going to do. I was more focused like, how are you going to talk about venue if you haven't even resolved the purse split? So that tells me that the biggest impediment to overcome here was that damn purse. So the purse split, I am 99% sure that's been resolved. It's just it's semantics now. These little hiccups along the way. And that's easy, man. You take a Band-Aid and patch that up. You know what I mean? That's what we have. We have capillarious bleeding. We don't have, bleeding, the arterial bleeding. You know what I'm saying? it's not even venous bleed. Like, this is little stuff oozing out. Like, this is queef stuff. Like, go, man, clean that up with some fries and put a Band-Aid on it. These are easy kills. And they should have it in Vegas. It should be neutral ground. Plus, why wouldn't you have a fight of this magnitude in Vegas? So I think Crawford is spot on with that. Big fight, Vegas. So many people are accustomed to coming there when it comes to flights. So many, the ticket prices aren't ridiculous. You can go out there and get, once they announce the dates, people can get their tickets. Flights to Vegas from all over the world. Any international hub, you can get yourself to Vegas. So that is perfect. There's no going through 10, 12 different damn, what's that called, man? The change of flights and all that, man. Potential one-day layovers and crap. Nah, man. It just, everything seems to work. And who doesn't want, who the hell want to come and fly to Nebraska? What the hell are you going to do in Nebraska? Go down to even Dallas. What you going to do down in Dallas? Yeah, there's some things to do, but really, if you're going to spend that kind of money to come see a fight, there's all kind of stuff to do to Vegas. If you're single, you do the single man or woman thing. If you're married, do the married couple thing. If you got your kids, you go do the family thing. You know what I'm saying? You go on out there to Sin City and enjoy yourself. But I definitely think that's how it should be. You look at all the big fights we've had. I mean, when you really think about it, you talk about the Mecca of boxing. Some people say, Madison Square Garden. I mean, yeah, true, I get it, but it's Las Vegas, man. Fight capital, man. Las Vegas. Take it there. Now, my thing is this. When you listen to Crawford, he's not spilling the beans, but that man is at peace. So when you see, it's like I said, when you start getting quiet, that means something bubbling in the back. And it seemed to me like Crawford, he's at peace because he's getting the money he wants. Now he's just like, all right, sort out the venue. Crawford does not care at this point. The two things it seems that he wants is the right money and the right location. He's not worried about the creep stuff. Now, I don't know about if he's going to sign to PBC, Al Heyman. I don't know about all that. Nobody's giving that away. But Leonard Ellaby came out, and he was talking a little bit about it. And what it sounds to me like Mayweather may be trying to get his hands on Crawford. But Crawford's not a fool, people. And neither is Errol Spence. A lot of people have learned from Floyd. And they have other people around them too. And Crawford learned from his experience with Top Rank. The same struggles Floyd Mayweather cut his teeth on is what Terrence Crawford had to go through. So he's up. I'm going to go ahead and say it just like he's up on game. He recognizes what he's up against when he signs with a promoter. He understands the sticking points. He understands the pros and cons. And he's not going to put himself back in a position like what he was in with Bob Arum. Especially to have your own promoter come out and just defame your character, slander your name, and put you in a horrible position when it comes to someone even wanting to entertain you. I personally think, for Terrence Crawford, he should be over there with I think he should go to with Matchroom for like a 3-fight deal. Knock out those 3 fights in a year because Eddie Hearn's going to get him fights. And I'm talking about after he and Spence fight, right? In a perfect world, have the Spence fight. Say Crawford wins because this fight can go either way. Okay, it's the counter puncher versus the pressure fighter. And the thing is, Crawford can get off first, but let me get back to what I was saying. If in a perfect world, come fight Spence and say Crawford wins the belts. Go on over there, sign a deal with Matchroom, do 3 fights, and then come back over to Al Heyman. Because Matchroom's going to pay him probably more money than what he gets over there with PBC and Al Heyman. Eddie Hearn, you got to look at what they did with Devin Haney. Devin Haney doesn't really put butts in seats. He went over there and made a bunch of money. Wasn't really built into a pay-per-view star, but his profile did get better. Maybe it would have been even bigger had he been with PBC and Al Heyman. But his bank account wouldn't have. Okay, so you got to look at kind of what's most important to you as a fighter. A lot of people are about money. A lot of people are about legacy. Other people just about, hey, treat me fairly, But I think all of that should matter. So the best fit for Bud Crawford, only he knows. But when he goes to fight Errol Spence, it's like I said in other videos, I can't see Al Heyman being okay with Bud getting in a fight with Terrence Crawford, who can win that fight. Okay, Bud Crawford can win that fight. Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence could win the fight. But you knowing that it's a high-risk fight, and to not put yourself in position as, an advisor, manager, promoter like Al Heyman is, to ensure that those belts, that you retain those belts. Those belts are everything. People keep talking about, the accolades. That matters, but the belts matter. Those are your bargaining chips, man. That's your leverage. So I can't see Al Heyman just allowing Terrence Crawford to come in with some other promoter where now he loses the belt. Even Leonard Ellerbe talked about belts. Talked about Bob Arum. And why would he let one of his guys, like Teofimo, who had all those belts, come over and fight a guy like Tank? With Tank, we all know Tank would smash Teofimo. So the belts really matter when it comes to these promoters. And they don't want to lose control of that. That gives them a certain amount of power and leverage. So when it comes to Al Heyman, I just can't see him being okay with that. So if Terrence does sign with PBC, I'm sure that deal's going to be super sweet. But I'm sure he's going to be expected to get in there and bang with, whoever else is on that roster, that PBC roster. But I just can't see Terrence Crawford getting all of his ways. It's almost like looking for a good woman, or for a woman looking for a good man, or whatever your interests are, because things are a little different today. If there's 10 things you want in that significant other, and you get 5 or 6, you can work on the other 4, because more than likely you're getting the 10 out of 10 things you want. Probably highly unlikely. Okay, so get the 5 or 6 or 7 things, and then I ain't saying overlook the other 3, but kind of work on that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the same thing here. Whatever it is you want, Terrence Crawford, this is a perfect world, a scenario. I want all these things, 10 things. Well, Terrence, we can meet you and give you 7. These other 3, we recognize it. We're going to table that and figure out what we can do. But right now, we guarantee we can give you these 7. Is that good enough? And I think Terrence Crawford should look at that. Now, you got to remember, when you're being stubborn and just not taking money. Well, let's go back to Sergio Moore when he had that opportunity to fight Jermaine Taylor. Sergio Moore is coming off of the Contender. He won that, had an opportunity to fight Jermaine Taylor for $1 million, I think, and for a title. This fool turned it down like he was some superstar. Man never got back in that position. You know what I'm saying? So we just can't be stubborn. And Terrence doesn't seem like that. He seems like he's matured. He's learned from his experiences. Errol Spence looks like he really recognizes what he brings to the table, but also, hey, not getting any younger. I've been through a lot. This is the optimal time. And I'm so glad no one said this, but I'm going to go and assume that they got beyond the sticking point of the money. And that makes me happy, because these guys are blessed. Let's not get ridiculous over that. But if they're giving if Spence gave Ugas 50% of the pay-per-view sales, then Crawford deserves that. Now, the actual split of the purse, that ain't no 50-50. Now, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to still stick to my 65-35. I think that's the sweet spot. But I'll be curious to find out what the agreement was, because, it's just a matter of time before we find out. But anyway, man, that's the latest and greatest. A lot of interviews, a lot of videos out there. People go out there and check it out. Some articles starting to bubble up. Read up on it, man. But looks like that right now is the sticking point. No longer the money, it's that location. And hopefully they can resolve that. And I don't think that'll be a problem, because why wouldn't you want to go to Vegas? Come on, that's you can have a judge from Dallas, one from Nebraska, and then have somebody who come from who know, man, not Philippines, but have someone come from Mexico. You know what I'm saying? And just go from there. But that being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. A lot of people talking about it, but we're moving forward. The train has left the station, people. And there's 2 stops. We got through the first stop, which was the money. Second stop is the location. And after that, the home stretch. And I'm looking forward to finding out where this fight's going to land, and when they announce that it's been, what's that they say? When the case has been closed, and we'll find out exactly what the deal is. So that being said, y'all keep cool. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. More to come. I'm trying to pump out like 8 or 9 tonight when I come back from my son's practice. And we're just going to keep talking boxing, man. Y'all keep safe. I'm in the breeze.